Space flight has its place, but nowhere will there be exploration as has occurred in the past by the men and women right here on the grounds today. Private companies and commercial companies will not do exploration. Exploration into the unknown takes risk. And when you're out to make a dollar for your shareholders, you don't take risk. Who takes risk? Who's taken the risk over the centuries? How about Christopher Columbus? How about Lewis and Clark, financed by our own government? How about Neil Armstrong? All financed and all moved forward in exploration by government, just like NASA continues to need to move forward with exploration out of the Kennedy Space Center. This impact on the workers inside the fences, the construction brothers and sisters continually coming in and out of that gate, the community as a whole, the public employees, the teachers, the business owners, small business, large businesses, community-based organizations, faith-based groups, all impacted by what's occurring in Congress right now. We say, what can we do? What can we do to make a difference? I'm going to ask you to do two things. The Florida legislature starts its 60-day regular session next Tuesday, and they're going to be considering bills that will impact the space industry at the Kennedy Center. I would ask you to contact each of your local legislators, and many of them are on the committees that will be dealing with space issues, and make sure they know that you want full funding for all space activities funded through the state of Florida. As of Tuesday, they're going to start considering it, and you can make the difference by contacting your local legislator. What can we do? That's one thing you can do to help you with your jobs. That's one thing you can do. We need to let Florida know, we need to let the Florida legislature know that the same tired old policies that's got us in this mess now, we can't support and cannot continue. The tax incentives, the giveaways to powerful special interests has got to stop today. The one resource where we can have real investment are the workers and families in and around the Space Center in Brevard County. And even on a larger picture, brothers and sisters, this is an example of what's going on all over this country. And we have to have not only a local policy or a state policy that addresses good jobs. It really burns me when our legislator says we're creating legislation that creates jobs. We're creating jobs. You know what kind of jobs? Jobs that families struggle Friday to Friday with a paycheck to put food on the table and pay the light bill. I'm not proud of those kind of jobs. We want jobs with a living wage. We want jobs with health care. We want jobs with benefits. We want jobs to give our children opportunity with education and training, and we want our jobs now. The Florida AFL-CIO is not going to let you down. You have not been forgotten, and we'll continue to fight for you every day. And on a larger picture, this is so much of an example of what's going on all over this country. And we've got to have a national policy that addresses it. We've got to have a national good jobs program. I see many of the signs out there. A good jobs program that puts people back to work, keeps people working, on jobs with dignity, on jobs where they can provide for their families on a regular basis, on jobs where there's security for them and their families, and give the future and a light at the end of the tunnel for all workers in this country. A national policy is what we need and what we're talking about. We've got to have a national leader. that can move forward that national policy for all workers in this country. And we've got the guy for all of us. We've got the guy for you to make that happen. From beginning in the coal mines of Pennsylvania, working with working families all over this country to better their stead in this life, to currently holding the position of the president of the AFL-CIO. We've got the guy that can establish national policy that would transition right down into this space center and the needs we have, and that's president of the Florida AFL-CIO, National AFL-CIO, National AFL-CIO, that's Richard Trumka.
Let me ask you something. Is there anybody out there that's ready to fight for jobs and stop what's going on in this country? Anybody out there had enough? Mike, I want to thank you for that kind introduction. I want to thank Claude Ponce, for the president of the Space Coast Labor Council and MC. And I want to introduce somebody to you. You heard from our terrific Executive Vice President. I want to introduce you to the youngest Secretary Treasurer that the AFL-CIO's ever had. That is Liz Schuler, who comes out of IBEW. Liz? I also want to introduce three people again. You heard from President Ed Hill, but we also have the President of the Painters, who are more involved than any other union their size. And we also have the President of the Ironworkers, Joe Hunt. Give those presidents a round of applause. I want to thank all those people that have spoken today. And I want to give an early thank you to all those people that will continue to speak beyond this rally today to save these jobs. I want to thank you and all of you who have worked so hard to organize this incredible outpouring of energy. But I especially want to thank County Commissioner Robin Fisher. Robin, thank you for what you're doing. Yeah. And I want to say thank you, Florida, for Bill Nelson. Can you send us another senator, a U.S. senator like Bill Nelson? Can you do that? I also want to say thank you to everyone in the community who's worked so hard to make the miracle of Titusville a reality. That's the men and women of our union movement, leaders from labor and government, business, education, politics, and the community, all working unselfishly together for 40 years to make this a great place to live and to work and to keep